USF hosts Science and Theology Forum.
College Week students look back on the Boston tragedy.
And a USF student interns with Be Free Ministries in Sioux Falls.
All this and more coming up next on College Week.
From the McDonald Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls, this is College Week with Sam Tastad, Hannah Olson,
and Sports with Thomas Marshall.
Good morning, I'm Sam Tastad.
And I'm Hannah Olson. Thanks for joining us. So Sam, the Laramie Project, which is a recent theater productions, went on last weekend. Did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I saw it last Saturday. I thought it was really controversial, but the theater students, I thought they did a really good job with their production.
Cool. Well, I haven't gotten to see it yet, but hopefully I will hear soon.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Laramie Project a little bit later. But recently, USF and Augustana put their rivalry on hold and volunteered with each other for Kids Against Hunger. Kids Against Hunger is a nonprofit organization that packages meals for starving families around the globe. SALT, a volunteer organization at Augustana, recruited about 200 students from both colleges to help a good cause. Augustana and USF students successfully packaged 32,184 meals.
Well, meanwhile, another opportunity is taking place at the University of Sioux Falls. USF is joining Twin City-based Feed My Starving Children, looking for volunteers to package meals for hungry children around the world. Feed My Starving Children is a nonprofit Christian organization committed to feeding God's starving children hungry in body and spirit. Meals cost only 22 cents to produce and are hand-packed by volunteers and then shipped to nearly 70 communities. The USF community will package meals on Thursday, May 2nd at the USF Stewart Center from 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. and then also at 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. More volunteers are needed to reach the goal of 100,000 life-saving meals. So visit usiouxfalls.edu to get involved with this powerful event.
This weekend, the University of Sioux Falls theater program continues their third show of the year, the Laramie Project. This play follows a 1998 tragedy at the University of Wyoming where a student was kidnapped, beaten, and left to die. The playwrights conducted more than 200 interviews to come up with this deeply moving theatrical experience. It'll be shown in the Meredith Auditorium on Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m.
For the 2012-2013 school year, the Forum for Conversation and Theology and Science addressed climate change and its relationship to our values and decisions we make as Christians in the 21st century. The debate between science and religion is not unique to today's society. The exponential growth in pollution over the past 100 years has brought with it rising concerns for our planet. Dr. Catherine Hayo from Texas Tech University visited USF's campus to provide faculty and students with sound research about climate change. Hayo's Protestant background, paired with her passion and understanding of science, made for an interesting perspective on the issue. Hayo said white Protestants are surprisingly the most prominent group who believe climate change is not an immediate concern. USF sophomore Morgan Delane says she felt the information was rather shocking.
Really, when I came into it, I had no idea, I don't really know anything about global warming. I feel like I'm really naive to what's actually happening, so a lot of the information that she talked about was shocking, but mainly just the impact it's already having. I mean, we don't see it right here, but it actually is a really big deal, and there are lives that are being taken because of it, and the future is affected by it.
Delane says the amount of research Hayo provided was impressive and convincing.
When I came into it, my focus was on her research that she's done to be able to talk about this topic. And she just had she had polls and charts, and she was so well informed. She knows what she's talking about, and she has done years of research, and that's obvious.
The forums are primarily geared towards the science and theology departments, but is open to all. Hayo says she believes that Christ has called us to love our neighbors, and this value drives her to be a good steward of the land. Hayo's biggest piece of advice is to consider how our choices can directly affect our neighbors around the world.
Thanks, Hannah. On Monday, April 15th, 2 bombs were set off the Boston Marathon. Because the marathon normally gathers a lot of media coverage, there is a lot of footage of the tragic bombing. College Week's Chantel Day puts together a montage of what happened.
I work in the Prudential, but I don't know what's going on.
The elevator shook the whole building. It was quite a blast. 2 of them scared the hell out of us.
100, perhaps 150 people reported injured, many of those injuries grave. At least 3 people have died. The National Guard is securing the crime scene while the FBI leads the investigation and the search for suspects.
We still do not know who did this or why, and people shouldn't jump to conclusions before we have all the facts. But make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of this.
After a very detailed analysis of photo, video, and other evidence, we are releasing photos of these 2 suspects. They are identified as Suspect 1 and Suspect 2.
There were a string of incidents in the Cambridge area, a carjacking, a dead a dead campus policeman on the MIT campus, and then a shootout and reported explosions in a community just to the west. And those all appear to be connected, the cops just told us at a news conference early this morning. There were 2 suspects involved. One is now dead, we're told by a source. The other one is still at large.
Well, Tabang, we have reports from Associated Press that the name of the suspect now at large is Dzhokhar Tsorayev. What we know at the moment is that he's 19 years old. The media here are saying that he is of Chechen background. We don't know if he's a Russian citizen at this point.
Now, there have been cheers and applause at the end of a fierce shootout which saw a man who kept Boston on edge for days caught and taken into custody. A 19-year-old suspect in Monday's deadly marathon bombings was seriously injured in the standoff with police and is now in a critical condition.
And the latest for now is that the younger brother that is now in custody is going to be treated for any kind of injuries that he had. There are reports that he had blood on him, and officials have confirmed that he was in fact seriously injured, so he will be treated now, and then the legal part of this case will certainly move forward.
Well, coming up next, USF students are offered the opportunity to be jurors.
We'll be right back.
The Criminal Justice Department at USF has offered students the chance to be jurors in real courtroom situations. Professor Mike Thompson teaches a class called Trial Process, and the students will be presenting the 2 trials at the Minnehaha County Courthouse on May 7th and May 8th. Both cases are actual cases that were tried in South Dakota. An actual judge will preside over them. Thompson says that he hopes to have 24 volunteer jurors who will listen to the evidence and arguments of the parties and then deliberate and reach a verdict. If you are interested in being a juror, contact Professor Thompson at mike.thompson@usiofalls.edu.
Well, students are in the midst of a contest to see who has the coolest dorm room on campus. Not only does the contest give students a chance to show off their decorating skills, but also win some money. Students who wanted to join the contest emailed a picture of their room to admissions, and the pictures are now uploaded to the Mission's Facebook page for the student body to vote on. The grand prize winner will be chosen by the Mission staff, and 1 male and female winner who receives the most Facebook likes will also take home a prize.
Well, Be Free Ministries in Sioux Falls is raising awareness for the prevention of sex trafficking in the city. For more on the story, here's College Week's Jaden Miller.
A ministry center downtown has spent the past 7 years reaching out to victims of sex trafficking in Sioux Falls and throughout the state. Kimberly Caveney is the co-director at Be Free Ministries and says that although many people know sex trafficking happens in larger cities and around the world, most people don't know that it also happens here in Sioux Falls.
Sex trafficking in Sioux Falls isn't so much full of mystery as many people think, that it's kind of one of those far-off things that happen in other contexts like Asia or Africa, or even in Los Angeles or New York, where you think of prostitution and some of those acts.
Alexa Reed is a junior criminal justice major at USF who spends time volunteering at Be Free. She says that this educational experience has opened her eyes to the realities of sex trafficking.
I think the biggest thing is just like education on it, and that's kind of what Be Free is about, is like awareness and promoting that, just because I think a lot of people don't understand that it like happens here, especially like people don't even know that it happens in our nation.
Caveney says that women most likely to be trafficked are those who are in vulnerable or high-risk situations.
It comes in all forms, but almost always it addresses vulnerable populations. So those that at high need or high risk, those looking for identity, those looking for basic needs like food.
In South Dakota, popular opportunities for sex trafficking are the Sturgis Bike Rally, hunting season, and anywhere that has a large crowd of people. Caveney says that smart choices in these situations, such as staying with a group, are important.
Realizing that it can happen to anyone, honestly, and it has happened to anyone. And so just really being aware that it's out there is probably your number one way to protect yourself.
As a criminal justice major, Reed says that her experience at Be Free has motivated her to help those who have been trafficked.
I would like to. I mean, I love to help people, and I would like to be more involved in like the process like after they've been involved in it, and then because I don't really know about like all the agencies they have on it, but I know ICE is one of them. It's like a customs enforcement, but that's more like international and like people being trafficked like from international places to here. But I mean, if that's like the path that I'm supposed to go, I'm not opposed to it. So.
For more information on Be Free and sex trafficking, go to www.befree58.org. For USF College Week, this is Jaden Miller.
And springtime is coming, hopefully, and with that comes the annual USF Campus Beautification Day. College Week's Kendra Strasser has more on the story.
Every year, USF students and faculty gather to help make the campus beautiful, and this year the campus needs it more than most. Jeffrey Johnson, who helps coordinate the event, talks about what volunteers do.
I've got all the beds around campus are tilled up, and usually I'll have any holes for trees, and we'll have them just kind of pair off, get into groups, and I just kind of send them out on their own, say the green side up, and everything's tilled, so really for the most part you can just stick 2 fingers in the ground, move the dirt, stick the flower in there and go.
Johnson says that they do get student involvement.
We get about 50 or so, 60 students that'll come out. It kind of varies from year to year, obviously.
Johnson thinks that this is a beneficial event for the community of USF.
The USF community, I think it gives them just more of a sense of pride in the campus itself. And I mean, they can help contribute to that beauty of it. And for students that have graduated that may still live in the area, and they can come on campus and say, you know, I helped plant this tree, or, you know, I helped do this landscaping project. You know, it's a sense of ownership for them. And I think the students themselves, you know, take a lot of pride in the campus, and I just don't want them taking it for granted. But for the most part, I think it's just, again, community involvement and some fellowship with everyone.
Campus Beautification Day is on May 8th at 1 o'clock. For USF College Week, I'm Kendra Strasser.
Well, coming up next, Jamie Fuller sits down with a high school senior with their plans for graduation.
We will be right back.
Good morning and welcome to Java Talk. I'm Jamie Fuller and I'm sitting down this morning with high school senior Grant Lewis. He's trying to pick some colleges. We've got a decision made?
Yep.
All right, so why don't you first off tell us a little bit about your high school experience and some of the stuff you were involved in.
I was involved in a lot of sports like football, basketball, track. It really started from there. I started getting a bunch of colleges to talk to me, and then I just decided to narrow it down towards my senior year.
All right, and what were some of the colleges that you went and visited and stuff like that?
I visited USF and St. Cloud.
All right, and how did your USF visit go? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It went really well. All the guys here are really great guys, and the coaches are really good.
What did they have you do while you were here?
They took us on a tour of the campus. They fed us. They also took a host football player.
So what does that mean? Did you stay on campus then, or?
Yeah, we stayed on campus for a little while and then we left and toured the city, went to Brazilian Carnival, and then kind of did our own thing after that.
Took you to the nicest restaurant in town, huh?
Yeah.
All right, and how'd that schmoozing go for you?
It was great. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then did you stay the night here?
Yeah,
or?
we stayed in the Holiday Inn downtown.
Oh, so they didn't put you in the dorms or anything?
No.
No? And how was that whole experience?
That was good. It was a good experience.
It was good?
Yeah.
And did they take you out to the football field and everything?
Yep, they did.
Because you were here on a football visit, right?
Yep.
All right, and have you been involved in any of the camps or anything?
I went to a Augie camp.
Okay.
It's not USF.
No, it's definitely not USF. And then what were some of the other things that went into you making your decisions?
Well, first it was money, how much can I get to go, and then education, well, they were kind of tied. And then it was really the coaching staff and football players that made it.
All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about your visit up to St. Cloud?
My visit up to St. Cloud was great. I loved the scenery. It was a really nice campus. I loved the coaches. They just sold me on it. They gave me a good scholarship.
Did they? And how exactly did they sell you on it? What was their biggest selling point?
Well, they were just themselves. Just talk to you like your friend. So.
Yeah, they didn't yell at you or anything.
Yeah, they weren't very intimidating. So.
Guess we'll see what happens in the fall with that one, huh?
That's right.
All right, and then what is your summer planning for getting ready?
Well, I'll be lifting and then I'll be getting a job to save up for college.
All right, and then how many times a day are they having you lift, and what kind of schedule do they have you on?
Right now they have me lifting once a day, 3 times a week, and then Tuesday and Thursday would be like my cardio day.
Okay, so lots of working out and getting ready. Getting buff?
Yep.
All right, and then what are your future, when do you start moving in and everything there?
I will stay the summer here, so that's good. I get one more summer, and then I will go up about middle of August for fall camp.
Okay.
And then I'll move into the dorms when I get there, and then football will just get rolling and everything else.
All right, and then when you start your freshman year of college, nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen. Do you have some kind of expectations for your experience in St. Cloud?
Not really, just the fact that it will go well, hopefully.
Yeah, and do you plan on, it's not too far away, do you plan on coming home a lot?
Probably not during the season, but around Christmas time and after that I
long weekends
will.
and everything?
Yeah,
maybe you'll have some snow days like we've had this year, and you get an extra week off during the semester.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, and then while you're there, do you have a major that you're planning on studying?
I plan on going into medical, but I haven't really decided yet.
You haven't narrowed it down?
No, not narrowed it down.
So are you going to start as a major in biology?
I think in pre-med, maybe.
Okay, they have a pre-med program up there. All right, well that's really cool. And do you plan on being in any other activities while you're there?
I'll try to get into many things that I can, but with football school, I'll be really busy. So.
Yeah, like I know right now you're in newspaper at your high school, right?
Yep.
And do you plan on doing anything with that?
Well, I could. I just have to check into it.
Yeah. Campus newspapers are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're involved in some of that stuff around here. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Grant. And up next is Thomas with sports.
Well, now we take a look at sports with Thomas Marshall.
Well, Thomas, the NBA playoffs are going on. The Heat and the Thunder, they're rolling. Golden State's been kind of hot, though, with Steph Curry.
Yeah, Golden State is really really the dark horse in the playoffs, I believe, this year. And Memphis Grizzlies. I believe they're playing the Clippers, and they're giving them a run for their money.
Absolutely.
As school is coming to a close, at UCF athletic teams are finishing up their seasons. The USF tennis team made their first NSIC tournament, but their postseason run ended with the 6-0 sweep by Augustana. USF finished their first year in the NSIC with an 8-10 overall record and a 6-6 conference record. Back to the diamond, and as we all know, Mother Nature has lost her mind and can't figure out what season it is, but it's still baseball and softball season, even though there is snow on the ground. The softball team was swept by Winona State last weekend, followed to a 13-23 and 8-14 score. The Cougars finished their regular season today and tomorrow at home against Minnesota Moorhead and Northern State. Meanwhile, The Cougar baseball team has been forced to cancel 6 games this year, but according to the head coach, Matt Giuliano, they're making the best out of it and said, it's always nice to get onto a baseball diamond, but we practice at the Sanford Fieldhouse and the Avera Sports Dorm where we can lay out a full diamond in some batting cages. We get a lot done indoors, but ideally we want to be on a natural surface. The Cougars are tied for 6th place in the NSIC and have 10 games left during the season. The true story of Jackie Robinson, called 42, hit theaters recently, and the College Week sports team sat down and previewed the movie.
Welcome to another edition of Movie Moment. I'm Brett Geese.
And I'm Sam Taston.
And today we'll be discussing the movie 42, directed by Brian Helgeland. This is the story of Jackie Robinson becoming the first African-American baseball player in the major leagues. Sam, what were some of the key points of this movie? What would you like about this?
I thought it was an accurate depiction of Jackie Robinson's life. The main thing I really liked, the characters all in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, they not only did they have Jackie Robinson play a big part in this, but Branch Rickey, played by Harrison Ford, had a big part in this movie, and the African-American sports writer had a big part in this too.
Wendell Smith.
So it depicted not only how this helped out Jackie Robinson, it also depicted why it was going to be tough for Branch Rickey to do something like this, and Wendell Smith and how his career moved on because of it.
Absolutely. I thought the movie it was cheesy at times.
Yeah.
But I thought it's a great movie to bring your kids to as well.
Yeah, there is language issues, but obviously that's something that they had to do. You couldn't get away with not having that in there because that's just how it was in the time.
Yeah, that was the time and the age.
Exactly. One of the things I really liked about this movie was the cinematography that they had in this. Jackie Robinson was known for stealing bases. That's something that he did a lot. So there was a lot of camera shots of when he's sliding into second. There's a camera right there by second base. So they had a lot of that in there. And just overall, it wasn't just a baseball movie. It had more to it. So that's something I really liked about it. Was there anything you would have changed about this movie?
I don't think there was anything I would have changed about this movie. One thing I really liked was the Branch Rickey. He had a lot of biblical messages in that movie. It was very biblical minded.
Yes. So overall, we rate this in baseball terms. Give it a pitch count. How would you give this one?
I'd give it 2 balls and strikes, so a 2-2 count.
Okay. That would be about four stars if we did this normally, right?
Yeah, 4 stars.
Okay. I'd give it 4.5 stars, so I'll give it a full count.
Full count.
I thought it was a great movie. Definitely something that you should go out and see.
Absolutely.
This, once again, is a Movie Moment. I'm Brett Geese.
And I'm Sam Taston.
Back to you in the studio.
Well, throughout the years, people have envisioned living in space. For some, this may become a reality, however. College Week's reporter, Irene Samaniego, talked to students about the possibilities of a one-way ticket to Mars.
A Dutch company called Mars One began looking Monday for volunteers astronauts to fly to Mars. Departure for the Red Planet is scheduled 2022, landing 7 months later in 2023. Starting April 22nd, Mars One is accepting applications for anyone who will wish to visit the Red Planet. The requirements: you need to be able to go farther than any other human being has ever been and to live in another planet. The criteria: you need to be able to be resilient, resourceful, and a team player. You can be the new Christopher Columbus. But there is a downside. You can never return. We took our time to ask USF students if they will be willing to embrace this adventure, willing to go to a different planet, to never return.
I wouldn't go to Mars because I feel like not coming back would be an issue. I'm not really a science person, so I'd probably run out of things to do up there because, well, you can only talk to so many people for so long, whereas on Earth you never really run out of people you can meet.
Well, that's a really tricky question. Would there be anybody coming with me are my first thoughts. And what does the food taste like would be my other thought.
Yes? Yes, I would. It depends on bacon, though. Can I get bacon? Am I allowed to talk about bacon?
Are there any good vacation spots yet?
No, because there's nothing up there except volcanoes and dirt, dust.
I'd have to say no. You can cross me off the list of people.
Mars One has already received 10,000 applications. As for USF students, unless you offer bacon, we won't be joining you. For College Week, this is Irene Samaniego.
Welcome back. Well, the NFL draft's going on this weekend. And then what are we going to look forward to next week?
It's going on today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And during next week, the second round of the NBA playoffs is going to continue. The favorables, obviously, Miami Heat and the OKC Thunder. Is looking to take the lead once again like they did last year.
Cool. Well, we'll look forward to hearing more about that stuff next week.
Will
and we've
do.
got one more show left. And
Will do.
this one's Sam and I's last show for
Yeah,
our
it's kinda
college
sad.
careers.
Yeah,
so.
it's a sad
It's
day.
been a great
right
run.
now.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'll be back next year.
We will hold it down
College.
for you, and I
Good.
guarantee you that.
Good. Good. Well, that wraps up another edition of USF College Week. I'm Hannah Olson.
And I'm Sam Tasted. Have a great day.
Looking back, I feel that 20 plus years just cruise past. Every single year moves so fast. I got the reins in my hands trying to pull back. Oh man, a lot of times I just reminisce. Chilling with my friends and remember this. All the stupid things I did, was it worth it? Even think back to every single first kiss, yeah.